Hey everybody, welcome back to my video. So today's video is going to be about my personal build and my personal moves. So I will bring up my inventory. So as of right now, this is the build that I currently have on. Is it perfect? No. Has it leveled me up? Yes. Has it made my gaming so much easier for me? Oh my gosh, yes. So with this armor in particular and these gems and some of the moves that come with the armor and the bonuses, I also changed my skills down here. So I'm going to start with my skills. Okay, so in the skills, we have Rend with Bloodbath. Except we have Whirlwind with Windshare. We have Wrath of the Berserker with Insanity. We have Ignore Pain with Ironhide. We have Ground Stomp with Smash. And then we have Battle Rage with Swords. Now you can see down here we have Brawler, Ruthless, Rampage, and Berserker Rage as our like passive skills. I put them in these orders because they are the easiest for me to either press the buttons on my keypad or hold my fingers on my mouse. So Whirlwind is my new favorite move, absolutely new favorite move for my build, for my swords. So I always have my finger on the right click as soon as I get out the gate, wherever I'm going, and I just whirlwind everywhere. Okay. So now I'm going to show you my armor. So with my helmet, I put a diamond in it to reduce cooldown. So this build is mainly based towards critical hits and cooldowns. And then my two swords. Right here and right here. Now the gems that I have for this build, and there are a few different ones that you can use, and you can switch them up if you think that it'll get you farther. I did in my last few videos have different gems, but I've always had Taeguk. I've always had Taeguk. I haven't switched that one out. That one I've stayed with all of my builds for this. And then I have Bane of the Powerful in the left hand ring. Right hand ring is Taeguk. And then up in my amulet is Bane of the Trapped. Now for my amulet, I have the Hellfire Legendary, and that has critical hit. So I'm also going to show you my boots. So my boots aren't exactly where I want my boots to be, especially for this build in particular. I think this build could get me pretty far. So I could roll and change some things. These do help with my whirlwind damage. I want a legendary or ancient legendary in these guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep some backups of these boots, these same exact boots that I have on. And I'm going to go over to the Kanai's cube, and I'm going to just show you, but I'm not going to do it because I don't think that I have all of the things that I need. Not extract legendary power. Okay, so in this build, I have boots. These are the boots that I want for this build, but not exactly what I want for this build. So what I do is I keep a couple of backups, and then I'll see if I can either re-roll them or if I can put them in the Kanai's cube and see what pops out. I highly suggest that whatever you have for your build, you have a couple on hand, so that you can always mess around with the other ones and still keep on the ones that you are pretty much the best ones for you at that time. Because you don't want to mess around with the ones that are pretty good for you right now and then you have, nothing left. So you can see my inventory. I know a lot of people's inventory is the same way, where I like to keep at least one of every weapon and doubles or triples of my outfit that I currently have on. Here we go. And then this is my gems and items page. So let's say that I wanted to take this guy right here and put a socket onto my sword, which I do. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this right here. We're going to take this guy right here. And some people may say wait to put a socket on your weapons until you get a legendary or an ancient legendary or anything like that. But I know that this is going to get me higher in levels where I can actually find more things. I can find ancient legendaries. I can find more of these cubes. So I personally think it's worth it to just stick this bad Larry on right now. We're going to right click it. It's going to pop up with a little hammer icon, and we're going to click on that. It's going to ask you if you're sure that you want to use this. I am very sure. And it put a socket onto my sword. I'm going to do the same thing with my second sword. Right click, hammer, select, yes I do. We're going to put that sword right over here. Now, things that I know that I do not want to get rid of, I'm going to put immediately back in my stash. So that you're not like, oops, deleted it. Because if you trade it in at the blacksmith or, sell it to somebody and then you walk away, it's gone. Okay, so let's go back to my build. So we have two sockets now. Right here and right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my stash and I'm just going to really quickly see what best gem it is going to be to put into my swords. I know that I really love the emeralds because it has critical hit damage on it. I'm going to put the emeralds in both of my swords. Okay, this one has life, this one has thorn damage, reduce all costs. So it does have a cooldown on it, but my build actually has a pretty good cooldown. I will also show you my details if you are interested in them. They're not perfect, but they keep getting better and better and better. The better items I find, or if I think something needs to be re-rolled, if I think, let's just say, for example, click on this one and it says, we'll just say, for instance, reduce cooldown skill by 7%. And I don't want that, but I do want that for my builds. I can always go over to this lady right here. I can put anything in there. Let's see about this one. Yeah, so you can tell I already re-rolled this one. You hit the question mark and you'll see all of the skills that it can be replaced by. So right now I have some resist on and I'm looking through level reduction, reduced damage, poison resistance, cold physical resistance, arcane, all this stuff. So all of these things are okay. So obviously this isn't exactly what I want for my build. I am keeping my eyes open for better ones, always. And then I always save extras. So let's say I want to re-roll and I re-roll a couple of times and it's not working out for me and I mess up. I don't want to mess up the one that I have already in there. I just have to reiterate that. Do not mess up your best ones. If you're going to mess with anything, mess with the ones that you're not using. And then last but not least, you go to the merchant. Now she gives you, it's pretty much a gamble. So let's say I really wanted to replace something. Like, let's say I really wanted to replace these gloves. They're trash. I don't like them. I don't like the skills that they give me. I don't like the choices for re-rolling. I don't like the fact that they're not legendary. You can always go over to her and spend all of your blood shards every single time you get them to gamble pretty much to get new gloves. Now, there are a lot of certain items, so sometimes it's not worth it, or sometimes it is worth it even if there is a lot of items, if it's the only one that you can't find and you really want it. So I know that for rings, there's a lot of rings you can get. For weapons, they do them by categories, but there's still a lot of weapons. Boots and chest pieces and shoulders and belts, I feel like there's a little bit less. Shields, a little bit less. So that's why it's always good to keep things, because as you go up, you might need to change something. So what I like to do is I always like to keep legendaries or ancient legendaries. So I put a few ancient legendaries in my inventory just to show you super quickly. These aren't ones that I'm going to use, but I still like to keep them on hand just in case. And always, if down the line I see that one of these legendary things, like this one says increases damage weapon thrown ancient spear by 59%. Let's say that said critical hit by 5,000%. I'd be like, oh damn, I'm gonna put that in Kanai's cube. I'm gonna take that legendary out and I'm going to now equip myself with that. So that's always nice. Also too, if you start another seasonal character, all of these that are in your inventory that aren't bound to you, you can actually share with your second seasonal character. So let's say I have a barbarian, but I wanted to try a necromancer, or I wanted to try a monk. Some of these things in here, as soon as you level that character up to 70, you can use everything. You can share the inventory of all of this. So one of the weapons might be really good for a monk. Which one did this have? Cooldown speed, damage. I think there's a lot that have like thorn damage, which is really good for necromancers. Also, too, with your gems. Always keep all of your gems. Do not get rid of any of your legendary gems. Do not get rid of any of your regular gems, because it costs gems to do things. It costs gems to re-roll things. It costs gems sometimes to make things. So you never ever know. So gems are the one things that I will never ever 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 get rid of. And then also too, we have some portals. These portals we use over in New Tristram, in that house. I always keep that. I always push that into my inventory. So, see, all my amulets. I have all of these amulets. I recently took off, I believe it was this amulet, and switched it over for the one that I have on right now, Hellfire amulet. So if I would have went through my whole inventory and was like, oh, let me just delete everything that I'm not using, and I was never able to find this Hellfire amulet again, and I found it one time, I would have been kicking myself in the butt. So just my advice to you is keep one of everything that you think that you might need. Now the second one, the lesser one, you can always go over to Kanai's cube. If it's legendary, strip that legendary and just stick it in there for the future, which I do have. So you can see right here really quickly, I have some things in here that I know that, I'm not going to use right now, but I may need to use in the future. Don't know if I'm going to need to use them in the future or not, but I had so many of them that I stuck one in there before, I got rid of them. Same thing with this. I collect several of, let's say, these pants. I had a lot of these pants. So what I did was I put at least one into the cube. And then you're going to get such a better bonus on all of your things if you know the right things to put. So I have Ambrose Pride in my sword section. I have Lamentations for my belt. And then I have Ring of Royal Grandeur for that added reduction bonus. So that's it today for my build. This is actually a very common build for a barbarian at my skill, at my level. I can show you one more thing, and this one more thing is going to be, I'm going to right click on my face, I'm going to view leaderboard, and it's going to tell you seasonal, solo barbarian in the Americas, season 21, and then this person right here is the leader, and then you hit view hero details and you can see what this hero has on for her build, and it's extremely similar to my build. Not perfectly and not exactly, but extremely similar. And then you can also see what she has in the cube, and you can also see what she has for her moves, which look pretty similar to mine. So everything is pretty similar, but I know that her Paragon level is 2,550, and I'm not up there yet. So this build isn't exactly for me quite yet. It might be when I get up there, for sure, or it might not be. So I'll have to see. And as always, I don't know if this person is a he or a she, because people do play under both females and males when they are either or. I'm just saying she because of the picture. Okay, so that's all for today. That's my build in a nutshell with a little bit of extra sprinkled on in. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. As always, please subscribe. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, I love to hear them, so please leave them down below. And as always, have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching.